What's up, friends? So in today's video, I'm gonna show you how I naturally preserve 40 pounds of red bell peppers. This ingredient prep makes my life so easy. I use it for stews, I use it for sauces, I use it for a variety of recipes. So if you would like to see how I preserve this naturally, let's keep on watching. Okay, so here are 2 boxes of red bell peppers. I buy them in bulk at Restaurant Depot because it's cheaper. But if you do not have access to Restaurant Depot, I guess you could just simply buy it through retail. But this saves me way more money. And each box, each 20-pound box, is $33 before tax. So I'm gonna start off with the first box. Of course, the first thing we're going to do, this is fresh produce, so we have to make sure that we wash it. These peppers are so fresh. I just got them the night before, and the first thing I do is go ahead and disinfect my sink really good. So I just did that off camera, and now I am going to go ahead and just give it another quick rinse before I block it off to add the water to give them a bath. I like to do this bath to get rid of all the germs still on the peppers and just give it a good wash. Now, most of the time when I do this ingredient prep, I would use distilled white vinegar, but for some reason I was out of it and I did not realize it. So today I am using another method. I went ahead with some baking soda, so just regular baking soda. I poured in a generous amount into the water. And you guys, I am also going to go in with a generous amount of salt. Salt is very effective when it comes to getting rid of germs and all of that. So yeah, but otherwise, it's just easier to just use distilled white vinegar. When I use that, I don't use any other thing really. I just use the vinegar, but I don't have it today, so this is another option. So yeah, make sure that you're generous with the salt. Add as much as you want. We're gonna rinse it off, so there's not gonna be salty or anything. All right, so yeah, once I do this, I'm gonna let it sit and soak in this salty bath for at least 30 minutes before I come in to prep it. If this is your first time on this channel, you are absolutely welcome. My name is Mansa Queen, and on this channel, I do a lot of baking recipes. I bake from scratch, I bake out of a box, cake mix, I do savory recipes, and I also do ingredient prep like this one. All right, so if that is something up your alley, please do consider subscribing and joining this family. I would love to have you around. So, okay, my peppers have been soaking and lounging in this salty bath water for about 35 minutes. Now I am going to go ahead and cut them all up. Now, remember, I am working with 40 pounds. This took me hours, but thanks to editing, you guys would not even know what I went through. So as you can see, I took out the core and all the seeds, and I just rinsed it off and put it away. So those seeds and the cores, if you are into planting and you have a green thumb, you can go ahead and plant them. I do not have a green thumb. It's just easier for me to just buy it, really. I don't replant them, but if you want to, you can go ahead and replant it. That's a whole lot of seeds, by the way. So yeah, this is what I do to wash all of them, and I'm just putting them on the side. So yeah, just cut, take out the seeds and the membranes, the white stuff in the middle, and then just put it on the side. And in case you're wondering why so much peppers, you guys, I use this a lot. So my sister has gastric issues, so she cannot eat tomatoes. And the good substitute for tomatoes are these peppers. There's no acidity whatsoever, and it is just as red and more delicious if you ask me. So yeah, these are all the peppers out, and that's the trash. Of course, it's going to the trash. Now what I'm gonna do, I would go ahead and rinse all these peppers one more time. Remember, they were in salty water, so I'm gonna go ahead and rinse them off really good before I move on to the next step. If you guys are enjoying this video, please go ahead and give your girl a thumbs up. It really helps me out. And as you can see, it is nice and clean just the way I want it. And in the meantime, I made another fresh water bath on the other side, and I'm letting the next batch of peppers just soak in. I had to do, I think, 6 batches of these. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the clean pepper. So all I'm doing here is cut them into smaller pieces just so it's easier when it goes into my oven, and it's also easier to blend. Now please feel free to use a chopping board. I just work really fast with just my hands. I can chop anything just holding it in my hand and a knife. But hey, feel free to use a chopping board. I just thought I would put that out there because each time I do it, somebody would leave a comment about it. It's just a personal preference. I just work faster when I'm holding it. So yeah, that's all I'm doing. I'm gonna chop all the peppers up, and this is what they'll look like. And then now I'm gonna go ahead to my stove. To make it easier, I just use this disposable aluminum foil pans. This is the big party tray size. And I doubled it, as you guys can see, because it gets really heavy once it starts, excreting all those juices. It gets a little heavier. So I doubled it so that it can withstand the weight. And I just pump it in there. Now, I typically would use my broil settings, but since I have so much, I didn't want the top burning. So this time I went on with my roast settings in my oven, and I just pop it in there. So you could either do it on your broil, but if you're doing it on broil, do it on do not do it on high, do it on the lower settings, and then put it on the lower rack. But since I'm just roasting, I'm not worried about it burning. At some point I did switch to the roasting. The whole point of this is to get the peppers to wilt a little bit. Once they're wilt down a little bit, when you blend it, the skin just dissolves into the whole thing. It does not become messy when you cook. I noticed that the ones that I blend without roasting it in the oven, they get really gritty. It's good for certain recipes. Okay, there's certain recipes that I just need that kind of texture. But for the most part, for my sauces, like your spaghetti sauce, you want it to be smooth. You don't want to be eating your spaghetti sauce and you can actually feel strings of peppers on your teeth. I hate that. So this is why I do this. And at the end of the video, you will see the vibrant red color that I achieved. And thirdly, apart from the color and the texture that it gives, something about roasted peppers is so delicious. The key to good spaghetti sauce, even the ones that you buy pre-made in the store, is roasting these vegetables. As you can see a little bit of charring on the side. It is perfect. So now you do not want to blend this right away because as you can see, it is steaming hot. It just came out of the oven. By the way, this big tray, I'll let it sit in there for 30 minutes. Okay, and periodically you would see me go in and just stir it up just to make sure that the top is not burning and everything is just more even. And also, when you roast it in your oven, it does not release as much liquids as when you put it on your stove. That's more like boiling it. It used to take too much time, and I felt like it took away from the texture and the flavor. So now I saved a few fresh peppers that I'm just gonna chop and put in my refrigerator and my freezer for like immediate use. The rest I am all roasting and blending them for future use. Like I said, this process I only do twice a year. It lasts me for 6 months or sometimes even more than that. This is the last set of peppers. And yes, you guys, this has cooled down and now I am ready to blend. Do not put the hot peppers in your blender because you risk breaking the blender because of the high temperature. Now, to also make it faster, I was working with multiple trays. So as you can see, I have some on the top, some on the bottom. It took me hours, but is it worth it? Absolutely. It saves me time and it saves me money in the long run. And now all I do is just blend it. I have a Ninja Professional Mega System and it is really powerful and it just gets the job done. If you notice, I just scooped a little bit of the liquid from the roasted peppers to get my blades going. Just a little bit of that. It does not have a whole lot of liquid on it. And yeah, I just blend away until it's nice and smooth. Sometimes I put it in the food processor if I want to have a little less mushy consistency. Sometimes I do that, but this time I just went ahead and blended everything because it was just easier for me. And one less thing to wash actually, because like I said, your girl was tired. And this was the finished product. Can you see how vibrant and red this color is? It is so rich It is smooth. You would not cook with this and see specks of, peppers just sitting there. It just blends in with the rest of your ingredients. Take a look at that. And like I said, roasted peppers are so, so delicious. You can use them in any recipe. Anywhere you typically would use tomatoes, you can use these. I actually substitute tomatoes with red bell peppers to cut down on that acidity. Now it is time to store them. I have been using the sandwich bags because they are smaller and the size just works for what I need them for. You can store them in any airtight container that you want, but these right here take up less space in my freezer. I store them in my upright freezer, so the Ziploc bags take up less space. I have done it both ways, and now I stick to this process right here. So yeah, that's all I'm doing. Just bag them up, and that is it. I know when I made it, and I know how long they last. Now, again, you do not have to make this much, of course. This is a lot of peppers. But again, I use it a lot. I cook a lot. I cook different recipes that require tomatoes or peppers, and this is just my go-to, and it saves me so much money. At the end of the day, I was able to get, I believe, 26 of these sandwich size bags, and this right here would last me a long time. I can typically just use one bag a week and it would last me for a long time. And when I tell you the last bag I am using right now from the previous ones that I processed looks just the same. It is just as red and just as vibrant. So this process right here, it works. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.